Now, the atmosphere in the National Cathedral, it must be said, is pretty light-hearted. There are a lot of laughs from, first of all, the family of George H.W. Bush, with, of course, the 43rd President of the United States, George W. Bush, in the front row. On the right-hand side of the National Cathedral, on the other side, are all of the other former presidents and the current president. In line, there is Donald Trump first, then Melania Trump up next on their side, Barack and Michelle Obama, then Bill and Hillary Clinton, and then Jimmy Carter, of course, is there as well. This is the President's Club coming all together to pay tribute to the 41st President of the United States.
Yeah, we saw a handshake between Trump and Obama.
Yeah, and it's the first one, in fact, since January of 2017. That was the presidential inauguration. That's when they last, we believe, at least saw each other and shook hands. Since then, of course, this has been a very fractious relationship between the current president and every single former president. He has had words of criticism, not just for Barack Obama, but for all the others in that National Cathedral today. There was a handshake between Donald Trump and the former President Barack Obama, also with the former First Lady Michelle Obama, but sitting next to them were Bill and Hillary Clinton, and there were no handshakes exchanged between them. This, of course, this national funeral at the National Cathedral here in the U.S. Capitol is supposed to be a moment of bipartisan unity, where the country comes together, symbolized by all of those former and the current president sitting together in those pews, and the whole Bush family, of course, being there as well. And indeed, over the last few days, it has been a country that has come together, somewhat symbolized here in the U.S. Capitol, at the U.S. Capitol up on Capitol Hill. This is where thousands of Americans and also foreigners came to visit the casket of George H.W. Bush. He was lying in state in the Capitol Rotunda, and those who I've been speaking to there, well, they say that they remember a former U.S. president, the 41st president of the United States, who was all about civility, thereby clearly, of course, making that comparison to what is going on right now in the United States and fierce political divisions between the two parties. At least for now, for these last few days, 1 week that this state funeral lasts here in the United States, that bipartisan feeling has somewhat come back to Washington.
It sounds, Philip, what you're describing as a repeat of the funeral we saw a few months ago of the longtime Senator John McCain.
Yeah, you're right. It's not that dissimilar. Both of them, of course, statesmen. Both of them are war heroes here in the United States. Both of them veterans. Of course, the big difference, if you will, from the front rows in the National Cathedral is that Senator John McCain did not put the current president on his list of guests for his funeral. Both of them had been meticulously organized by George H.W. Bush today, and of course by Senator John McCain also. They knew that they were going to die, and they were able to organize their very own funerals quite meticulously. Now, the role of the current president is important here as well. He wasn't there for Senator John McCain's funeral and the service in the National Cathedral. He is here today, but he's not going to speak. The main eulogy will be from George W. Bush, from the son of the 41st President of the United States. We can expect most likely a humorous take on his father, because from what we've seen of George W. Bush, by the way, over the last few days, is of course he is mourning the death of his father, but he also seems to be in very good spirits, very happy to see some of his political friends again here in Washington. I saw him earlier this morning waving from the motorcade towards all of congressional leadership, Democrats and Republicans, and he's been smiling quite a lot, as has the whole Bush family in the National Cathedral today.